Hi, my name is Tom Waldman. I am a physician, immunologist, oncologist working in the National Cancer Institute, NIH. It's been over 60 years that I started my career with a $50 grant to study what was now known as erythropoietin. But in the next year, I was at the Massachusetts General Hospital during the last polio epidemic, and Frank Austin and I were assigned 300 patients with polio, 70 in respirators. The next year, the Salk vaccine came out, and its vaccine immunological elimination of polio. That was the aha moment for me to enter the field of immunology. But at that time, it was in its infancy. Max Wintrow, the hematology tech, said, "The role of the lymphocyte is obscure. It has been denied that it carries lipids from the gut to the liver." We had no knowledge of T and B cells, no knowledge of receptors or retroviruses, no knowledge of signaling pathways, no molecular disorders for primary immunodeficiency. So there's been a revolution in immunology. One of the early things that I did with Phil Leader and Stan Korsmeyer is define immunoglobulin and T-cell receptor gene rearrangements in leukemia. But the dominant aspect of my work has been in the field of the gamma cytokines. We started by making an antibody to an activation antigen, which turned out to be the discovery of CD25, IL-2 receptor alpha, and we defined a leukemia that had suppressor activities and was CD4, CD25 positive. Since that time, our antibody, now known as daclizumab, approved by the FDA in organ transplantation, and of great value in 3,300 patients with multiple sclerosis, emerged. And we defined the alpha and beta receptors of the IL-2 system. As part of our studies with this monoclonal, in a patient with the retrovirus, HTLV1-associated adult T-cell leukemia, we co-discovered interleukin-15. Subsequently, we have demonstrated its value in mice in the elimination of tumors and have produced it under good manufacturing practices and have introduced it into clinical medicine with a number of studies. And as I look to the future, it will be with IL-15. It dramatically increases the number of NK cells and monocytes, increases by 100-fold CD effector 8 memory cells. So we're going to study it with antibody for antibody-dependent cellular cytotoxicity. We're going to study it with anti-PD-1 and anti-CTLA-4 and as a component of vaccines. The most important contribution of immunology has been in the development of vaccines to provide long-term immunity to prevent the development of infectious scourges, from polio to smallpox. And these have emerged over 220 years since the first use of cowpox vaccine to prevent smallpox. But then it has, in essence, had a huge impact on all of the infectious diseases where you get them only once: the measles, the mumps, the smallpox. The challenges of the future are to have vaccines for diseases that are chronic, that exist despite normal immune system: malaria, AIDS, and cancer.